Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my player ratings from our 2-0 win against Granada in the Europa League quarter-final first leg. So David De Gea, going to give him a 7 out of 10. Kept a clean sheet. First time he's been in goal for a while. David De Gea made some straightforward saves from Kennedy because Kennedy had a few long range shots. De Gea, he could leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window, but he could also stay potentially past the summer. Now, it recently said that David De Gea had made his transfer decision. He's preparing to leave Manchester United, and he said we're set to pay off his huge contract. We've set the price for De Gea. It's £50 million. There's 3 clubs that are chasing him. That's Atletico Madrid, PSG and Real Madrid. De Gea has 2 years left on his current contract and he's on £375,000 a week. Solskjaer did say prior to this game though that the battle between De Gea and Henderson is healthy, and he did make an admission, Ollie, saying that De Gea was unhappy that he lost his spot. There's probably a few United fans though that think it would be a mistake to let De Gea go in the summer transfer window, because he is a very, very good goalkeeper. Yeah, he's been a liability in the last couple of years, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But a few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He's won everything domestically at the football club. De Gea has made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. I said, didn't I, that there's a very good chance he'll go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain. He began his footballing career in Spain, and in 2015 he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. So yeah, like I say, 7 out of 10 for De Gea. And Juan Basaka, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Like I said on the match reaction, didn't do much going forward, but I thought defensively, Juan Basaka was good. He was effective in the air, and I thought he dealt with Kennedy quite well. Juan Basaka just needs to show more attacking intent, and there's been some games this season where he has showed good attacking intent. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. I kind of sure he's got a long-term future at Man United. Victor Lindelof, I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. I thought he was superb. His positioning was good. Defensively, Lindelof was good. And he got the assist for Marcus Rashford's goal. It was a lovely long ball from Victor Lindelof. So he does deserve an 8 out of 10. Harry Maguire, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought defensively he was good. He made some good clearances. He got forward quite well. Harry Maguire got a yellow card, so he's suspended for the second leg. Maguire's enjoyed quite a lot of good games at Man United, but he's also enjoyed bad games as well. We did overpay for him because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. He's the second most expensive signing at the club, just behind Pogba, and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I thought it was an average performance by him. Luke Shaw was very, very quiet in the first half. I'm shocked in that aspect because Luke Shaw's been one of our best players this season. You know, he's got forward well, he's got into good positions in a lot of his games. You know, defensively he's been good and he's provided width. But, you know, it didn't happen on this occasion. But I think Shaw's had a good career at Man United apart from his injuries. He's been at the club over 6 years and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. By the way, Luke Shaw is suspended for the second leg. So yeah, he'll be a big miss. Paul Pogba, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. I thought he was very anonymous, was Paul Pogba, surprisingly. Paul Pogba, though, did put a pretty good performance out in the 2-1 win against Brighton in the league not so long ago. That was his first start in the Premier League for over 2 months. And we have been getting the best out of Paul Pogba in recent months. Don't forget, he was out with a thigh injury for a while. He was out for the first part of this season with an ankle injury. And he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Like I've said to you, I'm not keen on Paul Pogba in that deeper role. I prefer him in more of an advanced role, like on the left wing, because that's where he's more effective. Paul Pogba could still leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window, but he could stay potentially past the summer. I think there's quite a few United fans that would like him to stay because he does bring creativity to the team. He has had a long-running transfer saga. Now apparently Barcelona are interested in him. They've been in for him before. There's been a lot of narratives of him possibly going back to Juventus. Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. And I said there's a good chance he'll go back to Juve. Juventus have been keen on a swap deal for Pogba. Not so long ago it says they was willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in exchange for Paul Pogba. And they're willing to offload Rabiot and Ramsey to get the money to afford Pogba. Reports from the Italian press said earlier on this season that Juventus were willing to offer us 4 players in exchange for Pogba. Recently, though, it said that Juventus had told Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola they cannot afford Paul Pogba. So reflects on that, he won't be making a return to Juve. Paul Pogba, could he still sign a new contract at Manchester United? Well, Solskjaer did say not so long ago that Paul Pogba's future lies at Manchester United, and he said earlier on this season he's hopeful that he'll sign a new contract, and we have been in contract negotiations with him. Earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. You know, if he stays potentially past the summer, Pogba, there's a good chance he'll leave on a free next year unless we get him a new contract. Damasio said the other week that Paul Pogba's got no intentions of extending his Man United contract, and he said his preferred destination is Juventus, and he said he still wants to quit Man United. Mino Raiola has been desperate to get his client out of the football club. A few weeks ago, he criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Paul Pogba out of the club when he was younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson. And he said he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't send another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. And he made an announcement regarding Pogba in December, and Ollie was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. But Mini Oriola said earlier on this season he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season. And he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer. As it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him, and this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. So yeah, so just a 5 out of 10 for Paul Pogba. Scott McTominay, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I thought McTominay enjoyed a good game. I thought he kept the ball quite well, got forward well, broke up the play well. He's a decent player, is Scott McTominay, but he's not at that level where we want him to be at as yet. But he's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with the club. He's been part of the club for a while. His best game by far this season was the 6-2 win against Leeds. Bruno Fernandez, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Bruno Fernandez obviously scored our second goal from the penalty spot towards the end. He also had a very good chance just before that. He actually produced a good save from Silva. It weren't Bruno Fernandez's best performance by all means, but you know, he dictated quite well, and he was quite good in possession. You know, he was making things happen. Yeah, Bruno Fernandez is our best player, and he's the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Fernandez has been at the club over a year. Don't forget he did say on his 12-month anniversary back in January that he's planning on spending many years at Manchester United. In most of his games, Bruno Fernandez, he has been very, very consistent. But there has been a few games where he has looked off the pace, but we have overplayed him. He has won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. But earlier on this season, Fernandez denied that he needed a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. We initially paid £47 million for him, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. Fernandez is under contract with the club until 2025. There's an option to extend for a further 12 months. He said earlier on this season that Fernandez was refusing to sign a new contract until he has assurances of the club's transfer plans. He says he was prepared to double his wages to £200,000 a week. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for him. Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. I thought he was very good, Greenwood. He looked dangerous. He made some very, very good runs. You know, Greenwood was playing up top. A lot of United fans are saying he should be our number 9. Greenwood's been fantastic since he broke into our first team squad. You know, he made his senior debut in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7. So he's been part of the club for a long time. Earlier on this season, he signed a new 4-year contract. And at the start of this season, we're giving that number 11 shirt. A lot this season, Ole's been defending Mason Greenwood. Sometimes we're playing centrally, sometimes we play him on that right-hand side. And Greenwood did score the winner against Brighton in our last league game. So 8 out of 10 for Greenwood. Marcus Rashford, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Obviously, he scored the first goal. It was a lovely goal as well. Lovely touch and lovely finish. Obviously, he was on that left-hand side. I think that's where Rashford's more effective, on that left-hand side. Rashford has become a bit injury-prone, though, because he has sustained a few injuries now at Manchester United. Daniel James, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Pretty average. he made some good runs here and there, and he did look a threat at times. Daniel James has got his way back into the team, you know. He's been playing a lot of football in the last month and a half or so. You know, at one point, he lost his place in the team, and there was a lot of narratives of him possibly leaving Man United. We got Daniel James for £18 million from Swansea a few years ago. We brought some substitutions on in the game. We brought Alex Telles on. He's going to get a 7 out of 10 from me. I thought he made an impact when he came on. Whipped some good crosses into the box. And defensively, he was good. You know, will Alex Telles leave Man United in the summer transfer window? Because he hasn't been given enough opportunities, let's be honest. When we got Alex Telles, I expected him to be our first choice left back. We got him in a deal worth 15.4 million. There's been talks of a Alex Telles and Nuno Mendes swap deal. Madison Cavani, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Nemanja Matic, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. And Donny van de Beek, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. So, that's your player ratings from our 2-0 win against Granada. Yes, it was a very good performance by Manchester United, like I mentioned on the match reaction. You know, 2 away goals, a clean sheet as well. Looks like we're going into the semi-finals of the Europa League. It will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th semi-final as Manchester United manager. We do play either Ajax or Roma. From a Granada perspective, they'll be disappointed because they offered very little going forward. Like I mentioned, you know, Kennedy, he had a few long-range efforts, you know, straightforward saves for De Gea. Their best chance was from Herrera, who struck the post. You know, we was the favourites going into this game. Because Granada, they're not poor, but they're not exactly great either. You know, they did well, you know, to progress to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Obviously, they progressed to the quarterfinals of the Europa League by beating Napoli and Mulder. Mulder's Solskjaer's former club. They are sitting, 9th in La Liga. They did lose to Villarreal not so long ago, 3-0. And their current manager is Diego Martinez. I'm disappointed that Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw and Mctomin are all suspended for the second leg. And Solskjaer's irritated by it. We've got a very, very good chance of winning the Europa League. We need to win the Europa League because it's our only chance of any silverware this season. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. If we fail to win the Europa League, we know that Solskjaer's not going to be sacked. But we win a trophy, that marks progress. You know, we got to the Europa League semi-finals last season. We lost 2-1 to Sevilla. And we won the Europa League back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho, where we beat Ajax in the final 2-0. But we are doing well. You know, we knocked Real Sociedad out in the round of 32. We knocked AC Milan out in the round of 16. And looks like now we've knocked Granada out. Granada and Real Sociedad are two Spanish teams. I'm hoping for an all-English final, Manchester United and Arsenal. I think probably Arsenal's our only real competition now. Yes, we have got a massive game on Sunday against Tottenham in the Premier League. The preview will be coming up for that later on today. There is some Manchester United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. There has been a lot of Man United fans that have been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they've been demanding him out. But Solskjaer does deserve another season at the football club because he has made progress in certain aspects. I don't think he's a long-term manager for Manchester United, but obviously Woodward believes that Solskjaer's the right man to lead the club forward. He released a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear, and Woodward's come out several times in general to show his support for Ole, even when he was enduring them really bad periods. Solskjaer has agreed to sign a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. I think in some aspects he does deserve a new contract, but there'll probably be Man United fans that disagree with us giving him a new contract. Solskjaer has a year left on his current 3-year contract. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 this season. There's a very good chance that we'll finish second. If we finish second and win the Europa League, I'll turn around and say, yeah, that represents a good season for Man United and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager over 2 years. And he's learned quite a bit on the job. He's tried a few different elements. He's gained some managerial experience, like I said. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not really a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. He enjoyed a very short tenure at Cardiff. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. So he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. That is one of my concerns about him, and my other concern about him is his decision making, because let's be honest, in a lot of his games at Man United he has been tactically naive, especially in a lot of the big games he sees, but there's been some games where he has showed tactical flexibility, but I hope he's got to do that persistently. You know what I mean? But Ole, I've got to say, is our best manager since Ferguson. He's our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. I'm looking forward to the summer transfer window, by the way, because recent reports said that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer said he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. And I've already identified the areas where Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. So I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic. We are going to sell players in the summer transfer window, so reflecting on that will generate money and it'll help us with our rebuilding process. In the summer transfer window, we'll focus on the incomings and the outgoings. The summer transfer window, it will be Ollie's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. So far, he's spent almost £300 million. He's obviously brought Dan James and Juan Basaka, Harry Maguire in, brought Bruno Fernandez in and Odi Nagalo in on loan. Nagalo left in January though this year. And obviously brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Tellez, Edison Cavani, Mad Diallo, Traore and Facundo Palestri. We loaned Facundo Palestri out in January. Solskjaer's not been backed enough so far, but I think there's a very good chance he'll get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because obviously we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football, and it was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed. John Murtough knows the club inside out, and Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. Solskjaer's already discussed our transfer plans for the summer with our recruitment team. You know. But Ollie does deserve credit in a lot of aspects. You know, it looks like he's got us to yet another semi-final. That's the Europa League semi-final. 5 semi-finals now in total. You know, he got us to 3 last season. You know, he got us to the AFL Cup semi-final this season. Got us to the FA Cup quarter-final this season. You know, been very good away from home. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. That's good. We enjoyed very good periods under him. Was 14 games unbeaten before the 3-1 defeat to Leicester. You know, got us a 3rd place finish last season, second highest we've finished since Ferguson. Got us qualification for the Champions League. I like the way Ollie has promoted the youth, because he's given the young players their chances and he's brought more young players into the club. Got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in, like I've mentioned. He's made good signings. And he's beaten some big name managers. So, yeah, they are the positives. You know, Ollie knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. A lot of United fans do believe that we give him the job too soon. We give him the job permanently a couple of years ago. Reflect on what he did when he was the interim manager. You know, he did well in that 3-month period. He won like 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. Maybe we should have waited till the end of that particular season to decide or not whether to give him the job. We did appoint Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. You know, in the last 8 years, we have been playing catch-up. We really have, and mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. I do believe that the board's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a while, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. You know, we've also overpaid for players, and in general, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. You know, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. And got us a 2nd place finish, I think, in his first season. So you can say Mourinho enjoyed one good season. And, you know, we've brought around, 37 players in since Ferguson retired, and we've spent over £1 billion on them. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is around 8 years ago now. But like I've said to you, it's just good that we're seeing some consistency under Ollie, because we didn't see it for a while. Obviously, no one's going to do what Ferguson did at the club. Never. And a lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go downhill when Ferguson retired. So anyway, guys, next video will be Tottenham Man United preview. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.